now it's okay. Good. So first we have informal style. Well, this is for writing a letter. The important part about this is the greeting. Okay. So you use dear Mrs. and you say the last name, the surname, or the person's when you know the person's name, or dear sir or madam when you don't know the person's name. So you have to use formal language. In this case, of course, the register is more formal than maybe writing an email to a friend. So I am writing with regard to your advertisement. I would appreciate a reply at your earliest convenience. Good. And you also need to use maybe passive voice. Remember passive voice? We talked about it a few classes ago, I think. So in that case, you use, for example, the product which was delivered. In that case, you use the passive voice. Proved to be faulty. Faulty would be damaged. And the ending will be yours sincerely, faithfully, and your name, right? Your full name. When you begin with dear and you know the name, you should end with yours sincerely plus your full name. And when you begin with when you don't know the name, sir or madam, you should end with yours faithfully and your full name. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, Miss.
Always try to use always the surname, the last name of the person. Great. Let's see the formal style. Here we have some other tips. Remember advanced vocabulary. Instead of I want to ask, you can say I am writing to inquire whether, and you say, or I'm writing to apply for this position, I don't know, the position of. Remember to use linking words that are more formal. Remember last class we talked about formal linkers, and maybe when you are speaking to someone that your friend or family, you can use maybe informal and daily linkers. And remember that in this case it's without contractions. It's really important, okay, and not to use contractions because it's formal style. Passive voice, again, I can be contacted or you can contact me. Great. Great. And here you have the difference with the informal style. In that case, with informal language will be idioms, colloquial English. You can use contractions, you omit pronouns. The endings are different, right? You can use any of these endings. Right. Any questions about the vocabulary that you need to use? This is the style of the letter. No? Then we can continue. Here we have the structure of the letter of application. When you write a letter of application, you should include the following information. The opening remarks. This will be the reason why you are writing for, okay? In this case will be the name of the job or the course if you are going to take an English course, for example. Where and when you saw it advertised, the position of manager advertised in yesterday's blah blah blah, okay, maybe in a newspaper, on a website, anything could be. Well, that is the opening remarks. Then you use in the main body paragraph would be your age, maybe if you have a job now, or studies, of course this includes your qualifications, your experience if you have. Maybe if you don't have any experience, then you can clarify, despite of my lack of experience, I can be qualified for this job since and you explain your qualifications, maybe your skills, okay, or personal qualities that are suitable for the job, or maybe qualifications, maybe studies, that will be I have a BA in French, for example. Okay, if you have a degree in something, or a PhD in, I don't know, in medicine, something like that, then you can, of course, a certificate, anything, you can clarify that. I was awarded with honors, maybe, if you had really good grades. In that case, you can clarify that as well. Then in the closing remarks, that will be the last paragraph, you can add any other important information. And of course, where and when you can be contacted, references you can send, a remark that you hope your application will be considered. Please, I mean, you have to show that you are interested, but don't show much of excitement, okay? Just try to show interest. That's it. I will be able for interview in September. I enclose references from my last 2 employers. I look forward to hearing from you. So if you're going to use I look forward, I need you to use the verb in ing. It's an exception when you use forward to, using with ing, the verb after that. Excellent. Just an example. Of course, you can use another expression, not only this one, it's just an example. Okay, so now let's see which time tenses you need to choose when you are writing this letter. The present simple is to describe skills and personal qualities. I am patient. Well, I am a patient and reliable person. Reliable means that you can be trusted. Maybe you are resourceful, maybe you are proactive, anything that can be suitable for the job, you should clarify that, you add to the letter, of course. The past simple, to talk about past experience, always, anything, previous studies or qualifications or anything. Remember to use the past simple in that case. I left school, or I worked for, I graduated from, okay, in that case, you use the past simple. Then the present perfect is talk about recent works or studies, or maybe for a job that you are working for currently, but you are also interested in applying for another job, so you can use the present simple in that present perfect, the present perfect in that case. I have been working for, I don't know, for 2 years. I have recently finished secondary school, for example. So when you use maybe recently, already, the expression since or for, means that you are still doing this action. For example, studying. I have been studying, and then law, maybe, since 2019. So you are still studying, but maybe you can clarify that you almost finished your career, you are almost finished, maybe, I don't know. Great. Any questions about the uses of the tenses, the time tenses, and the structure of the letter?
No, Miss.
Great, so we can continue then. Let me hide this. Good, so here we have examples, okay, that maybe let's just read the important parts that you might want to pick up so you can write yours. I am writing to apply for, it's very common. Then you say where it was advertised, or maybe the position, of course, in this case part-time shop assistant. Then I am a 16-year-old student. In December, sorry for the cough, I passed the examinations for blah blah blah. You can see here that shows interest, and of course here you have linkers, result connector, therefore that is more formal, or hence you can use hence employment in an English language bookshop particularly appeals to me. Despite my lack of formal work experience, I feel that I will be well suited for the position. For the past 2 years, I have been a volunteer helper in our school library. So you can see that this is a 16-year-old student. She's in secondary school, and she's been a volunteer, okay, for the past 2 years. So in that case, something that starts in the past and continues in the present. This action, for example, being a volunteer, that would be present perfect. So you can see that here she has references. In my school report, I was described as blah blah blah. Try to use any skill. Try to stand out your skills. Okay, that's really important. Since the school holidays include the months of July and August, I will have no other commitment. So try. Okay, so you can be contacted by, and you tell your information so they can reach out to you, and then you finish your letter. In this case, the person is unknown, right? So you end with yours faithfully and your full name. So here you have the introduction, the main body. Well, you tell your studies. Maybe in another paragraph you can say your experience, or maybe you can clarify that you don't have any experience and you tell your skills. And then the last part where you have the personal information that you need to clarify. And here we have more interesting words, sentences that you may want to use that are highlighted. Okay, sorry for my handwriting. This is when I was like 16 years old. I don't know, my handwriting is still awful. But you understand maybe opening remarks and reason for writing. That R seems an S, sorry, but it's reason. Age, present jobs, qualifications, experience, personal qualities, closing remarks. So this is really all. Great. Maybe I am interested in applying for the position. I completed my certificate. I have been working for blah blah blah. Since, like this, here you have the year 1999. I consider myself to be punctual, hardworking, and fair. And then here you got enclosed will be attached, right? Reference from my present employer, I would be grateful if you would consider my application, for example. Great. Any questions? No?
No, Miss.
Great. Excellent. So now I can show you when I had to do this exercise a few years ago. I don't know. I was 17. I don't know how old I was. This is the letter, the application that I wrote. Here you have the advertisement, okay? And here you have this is a global stage, UK, and a festival staff required. And in this case, the responsibilities that you might handle are to ensure the safety and comfort of the public and to assist in the running of a successful festival, to help to manage any crowd-related problems, including maintaining a state of calm to minimize injuries, to prevent unauthorized access to the site by members of the public. And here you have the requirements. You must be age 18 or over, so you must be over 18 on the date of the festival. You must be physically fit and healthy. Well, this is the skills that you might need. And you must speak, no, this is a recommendation, speaking English. And experience here of dealing with the public. Send an email, and this is my my letter. So it was pretty good. The only bad thing that I made a mistake is that it was overqualified, this person, because I'm always insecure, so I try to add any information and think of anything to add, and I wrote a really long letter. Sorry. It's not that necessary to do that. In this case, it's just I made it up. Of course, this is not something that I'm going to apply for, but I tried to do it as suitable as possible, and maybe I was overqualified at the end. But here maybe you can follow this example as well if you need to. Here you have the name, of course, because it's on the advertisement, right? Here, Richards, to Emma Richards. Okay, this is the person that you are writing to. And here you have the example, the first paragraph, the introduction, then the studies, right? I am British, 25-year-old citizen, currently working at a PE would be Physical Education Training College. Well, here you have a certificate in the past because it's in 2016, I wrote here. And this is 2017, I made it up. Furthermore, I have a high level of spoken English and German. I consider myself to be well suited for the position since I was described by my working team as I have, and then you say the skills. In addition, keen on, it's a really interesting word that you might want to use if you want to talk about preferences. Okay, instead of saying interested in or enjoy or like, you might want to use this option, or you might want to use fun. That is another way to say in a formal way. It's advanced vocabulary. And here you have the personal information. Any questions about this example, or are we okay? No?
No questions.
Great. Was it helpful maybe to have this information for you or not? Maybe, I don't know, maybe if you want to write a letter of application, you might need to use some of these sentences. I mean, you can use anything that you like to, but it's just a recommendation, of course. Okay, well, so we finished. Right, so let's see the speaking part of the class. So here we have the speaking part. In this case, you have here a receptionist's position, right? So you see the following job advertisement on a travel company website. Would you be interested in applying for the job? Now, in that case, you ask your partner why or why not you are interested or not interested in applying for the job. You read, okay, the advertisement, and then you have here the draft that this person, Agatha Beck, made before sending it, right? So the draft is something that you write before you send, right? So you can correct the mistakes, and when it's finished, then you can send it. Read the first draft of an email written in response to the advertisement. What information does Agatha give in the 3 main paragraphs? So here, try to tell me, then when we share our answers, what she gives here, the information that she gives. Remember that it's the structure, right? The introduction, the experience, etc. that you have to use in paragraphs 1, 2, and 3, right? So in this case, that is pretty easy. And then last part, this is the sentences that should be crossed out, that you shouldn't cross out, okay? Maybe because that it's irrelevant or it's informal, okay? You have just a hint, 3 sentences that you need to erase from the draft. Then you have the mistakes on the highlighted words. Okay, here you have the highlighted words. For example, here miss, you need to contract the from Miss. Okay, Miss Foster. And then you have here highlighted words. Advertised in your website. I have a high level of. I lived in during 6 months of an exchange program. So maybe it's not only a preposition or something like that. Maybe it's a capital letter, okay, or something that you might need to omit, okay. Not remember that you need to be perfect in that case, so you need to write in capital letters. Remember the days, the languages, the countries, the names, the full names are in capital letters, right? Any questions? Maybe if sometimes it's a preposition, sometimes you need to erase a word, a letter, anything. Or maybe you have to change it, replace it with another word, okay? But it's only the ones that are highlighted, okay? Then we share our answers together after you finish. Remember that now, Mika, we are going to Zoom, okay? Because I can create rooms there on Zoom. here we are. How many are we now? How many are you today? Nika? Sorry, I cannot see you. How many are you today? Brenda? Let's see. Stop the recording. Let me